welcome to the FnG deep dive, and we're going to look into what this oscillator is, what goes on in the background, and how it benefits us as the trader when placed on the chart. So out the box, it will kind of look like this. I've switched off the zones because we need to just talk about the basics first. So basically, this is 3 lines: fear, neutral, and greed. And it's also in a range. So you have the resistance, and then you have the support line, okay? And then you have the pivot. So any crossovers between fear and greed that are below the pivot are bullish. They're buy zones, and any crosses of neutral and greed above the pivot are technically bearish. So with that understood, I'm just going to switch off these lines because I find them too intensive. So my setup tends to be this. And you can see now where we're getting sharp crossovers here, which if you look at the chart right now is here, a top, perfect. And there's a very bottom pinch here that doesn't register any color because it's too fine. But if you look where it was, I mean, if you bought Bitcoin there, 26K up to 115, you're laughing. And again, intense crossover down here, giving us a nice rebuy at around 70 odd K off that drop. So that's kind of how like the zones are crafted for the fear and greed. So I'll switch them back on. So you've got neutral and greed, neutral and fear, and then the average, which I'll explain in a second. So now you can see more zones appear than what I showed before. I actually missed that one to discuss. So yeah, there was a little one there. Look at that buy zone. Do you know what I mean? If you bought just as COVID was happening and got that run up, it was perfect. Some other zones that didn't show any colors are like around here. But if we look at these settings, what we have is some band tolerance. Now the band tolerance will give you the ability to shape how narrow and wide these have to be before they basically show any background. So if I just drop it down to 1 on both sides, no, it's not enough. Let's just take it up to 15. Yeah, so now we have a lot more ranges, but I find the accuracy for the daily and the weekly time frame is around where I had it set at 0.1. Out the box, I've got it at 0.05 and 0.15, but you can kind of play with this. There is another pivot that I've set. So I've set it, obviously it's 0, 10 and 20 bearish, bullish and yeah, neutral. But as time goes on, it may find that this power oscillates, travels up. So as time goes on, it may become that it's actually 1 on the pivot. And as you can see, again, these have all changed. So really what you don't want to do is keep it out of the box. Either have it out of the box settings, which should look something like this. Yeah. Nice zones. Or you can tune it in how I do, which is 0.11. But it's up to you how you want to play around with it, configure it. Okay, so now that we have an understanding of how those zones work, one of the main zone also behind it, I'm just going to switch these off, is where accumulation and distribution come in. These are just averages working in the background that deliver us these really nice zones of basically market exhaustion. Yeah, so it gives us a nice range of a top, a nice range of a low, again a nice range of a top, and again a nice range of a low. And that's how, if you look at where the greed levels are, they're always above this bearish resistance line, yeah? And if you look at where the support ones come in, the action's always below the neutral, yeah? So basically what we get is we get these good zones that we can trade on, good solid zones that we know are gonna give us some form of reaction. So we just need to look for additional signs in those zones, and that's where the fear and greed comes in. You know, so if you can line up the zones together or nearest to each other, then you get a really good idea of this is a market top because you've now got a distribution zone, but you've also got neutral crossing greed, so you know the market's hot. We are near a top. Similarly, in the accumulation range, there was just an absolute kiss of a neutral into fear. Look where it was. Literally the market low. You just had to go. What else can we add in to think about this? Okay, well, cool. Let's say we've got some counter volume. So counter volume is we're looking for either distribution and greed. Distribution and greed, or accumulation and fear. And we're looking for people top lasting and bottom selling. And that's what that green dot is. That's someone in the zone going, I'm buying here. Yeah. Likewise, in the zone at the bottom, I'm selling here. And look where they come in. They always come in at the top and bottom, and that's your euphoria and your fear. You've got peak euphoria in these zones. People are really confident in buying, thinking this is going on forever. Oh, why have you ruined that? Oh, done me. Anyway, and you get these things. But what we can do is, because it tends to change. Obviously, volume changes on different time frames, so we can cater it a little bit. On a higher time frame, we can look for smaller amounts of volume, and then we can see where it comes in. So look, again, at the very bottom, we had an accumulation range, and we had people absolutely selling into it. Where did price go? It tore off. We had some distribution ranges, high volumes, sell off, high volume, sell off, correction. Oh my God, go away. Sorry, I should have planned this beforehand. Again, accumulation range, big seller, tear off. Distribution range, big buyer, correction. Yeah. So we have the ranges, and all we're doing is we're looking for the signals. And if wondering if playing counter volume is too hard, just go switch into inverse signals. There you go, bang, up triangle, down triangle. So that's basically fear and greed. And fear neutral greed oscillator is kind of the backbone between the other two as well. So these zones will cross across the other two oscillators, hence why I'm showing this one first. Very powerful indicator. You don't need it on everyday trading, but if you come back every few weeks, every month, check in what's going on, where is this? You're starting to see greed poking up here. You're starting to see distribution ranges. It's getting hot. You're seeing triangles. Get out the market. Likewise, it's all doom and gloom. You look back here, you're seeing accumulation ranges with people hammering into it. It's your signal to buy every time. Look, buy at the bottom there, buy at the bottom there, buy at the bottom there, buy again here. Periods of greed, periods of fear, all outlaid on one simple indicator. So that's the fear and greed, and we will move on to the next indicator in the next video.